Today, Arturia launched V Collection 10. Very cool set of virtual instruments, and I'm going to play a lot of keys for you. So just enter Arturia's website and you'll see all instruments at a glance. There are like 6 new instruments and some rebuilds. You've got new Augmented series instruments. There is a new MiniMreak Wurlitzer built from the ground up, completely new CP70 and Acid V, and also MiniFreak, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more later.
Acid V, a classic bass synth from the 80s, Roland TB303. As you can probably hear, it has a proper bass and proper squelchiness and filter resonanciness to it. But this one is a lot of fun. What I like to do, I like to, throw a bit and then improvise it and tweak the parameters.
This is the bass you are looking for. This is the name of the preset, but I have to admit that the new Mini V actually sounds much better. It's much beefier, and the energy in the low end is distributed much more evenly. So if you program it well, it will just, fit your mix perfectly, like this one. But let's listen to some other presets together. Very nice. So actually, it not only has much beefier, much punchier bass, but also it is more detailed, I would say. All those filter squeaks are much more realistic. I know how the real MiniMreak sounds, and this satisfies, my desire for bass and for the filter's squelchiness, and yeah, I really liked it. I think it's a big improvement. I never really liked the previous versions of Arturia's Mini. I liked the modular version from very beginning, but I didn't like the Mini, and now I like the Mini. Another news might be not that exciting, you'll say, but you're getting the MiniFreak plugin version. They actually sound the same, this instrument sound the same as plugin, and it sounds really good. I actually use it quite extensively in this track, and I'm going to show you the tracks from the MiniFreak. Let me just remind to the intro, and these all tracks, as you can see here, come from the MiniFreak. And to be honest, these are mostly factory sounds, and you will find them on the list. Including this beautiful Geiger and harming bass. So as you can see, it's a very versatile instrument. A lot of sounds can be achieved. And I would say it's not the best synthesizer for bass. You can get decent bass, but you have to use distortion or resonant filter to get it really beefy. You can make it really spacious, but not too bright. It's not a bright instrument. It's not very glossy. I would say it's matte at times. But there is one thing. It really, you can put it in a mix and it will gel. It really fits most mixes I make. So there's a cool thing about this MiniFreak actually. And if you've got hardware, you can actually control as many plugin instances with your MiniFreak as you like. Look, so now it is connected to my to my first instance, and now I switch to the second track and I just click link to MiniFreak here, and now look, there is a constellation plugin preset here, and I can just tweak it from here. And now I just switch to the third instance, link to MiniFreak, and now my MiniFreak will control the third instance. Very cool. So this is like a perfect controller. It actually sounds the same if you turn up the volume. It's the same sound. You can record it audio if you like, but you can actually have as many instances as your computer can handle. Wonderful. Okay guys, I have to stop now because I realize I cannot talk in detail about all instruments or even about all new instruments because there are just too many of them, and I didn't have enough time to get my head around those augmented instruments. So I'll just tell you that what I think is cool is that you also have not only synthesizers, very cool synthesizers, and each have a distinctive character, but you also have electric pianos. And the new Wurli is a huge improvement over the previous one. And the stage 73, which is not a new one, but the rebuilt 73 stage RHODES piano is actually the virtual instrument that made me sell my Korg SV1 and put just, you know, a keyboard, just a MIDI keyboard like this one. I also was considering Arturia's keyboard because they are beautiful, but I just ended up with this one because I wanted something NKS compatible. So that's about it. If you liked it so far, please subscribe, and here you go. These are my music examples.
So this is Augmented Piano. They actually sampled a Steinway Model D different ways, with felt damping, ping pong balls, vintage tape, and you can combine it with the synthesis. And then you can morph between those two layers and create your own unique sounds. And it works very similar way in other augmented instruments. Well, Arturia's Stage 73 V is like an ultimate emulation. You've got influence over the tuning, the hammer hardness, pickup distance, and other stuff. It's very cool. I tend to use RHODES for some, you know, housey, jazzy vibes, and it also gels very well with modern hip-hop and R&B. And of course, you've got lots of built-in effects, and these are just not some generic ones. These are actually simplified versions of their well-respected studio FX collection. Another instrument I like a lot and I use a lot is Arturia Oberheim OBXA. They say it's probably the most ambitious recreation of this instrument on the market so far, and it's really hard to disagree. Because they actually took this original, very complex instrument with 8-voice polyphony to 16-voice polyphony. They added arpeggiator, they added some modulation, cool modulation stuff, lots of effects and cool presets. So it's nothing to dislike here really, and it sounds great. Some instruments, including OBXA, have some hidden panels for, you know, tweaking the circuitry. So it's like a circuit bending thing. Very cool. So basically you can detune it, make it more organic, or spread the unison voices for wider stereophony. Korg MS-20 V. This one actually took me by surprise. I didn't expect I will love it so much. I remember playing MS-20 Mini hardware version in one of the Japanese music shops, and I remember I liked it. I liked the raw sound and the squelchiness of the filters and the noise generator, but I didn't end up buying it. But this one is a different story, because they didn't stop at recreating it. They also added lots of things to it, especially, you know, they expanded voicing, they added effects, there is a built-in sequencer, and all in all, I think this one is perfect for some, you know, live playing. I actually fiddled with this one with a mouse, and look, and I just played 3 or 5 minutes. It was really amazing. This is an amazing instrument. For those of you who'd like to skip that part, just fast forward 4 minutes. If you like digital synthesizers but you don't want that razor sharp or crystal clear sound, the SQ80 might be just the one for you. I found beautiful pads here. They say it was created by the same engineers responsible for the Commodore 68. This classic Ensonique synthesizer actually has some kind of grit, but it also has a lot of warmth to it. Just listen to that example. And I also got a very interesting percussive example of another highly acclaimed sampling machine from the 80s, from 1984, Emulator II. Actually, it has digital to analog converters and 27.7 kHz sampling rate, and it was $10,000 at the time, if you like it to be fully fledged. So basically you can choose your samples and each sample can be treated differently, and you can make layers, you can make keyboard splits, add filters. There's really lots of things to be discovered, and it's really quite easy to use. With the V Collection X you're also getting Mellotron, tape-based machine that needs no introduction. Oh yeah, and here comes another very distinctive instrument. It's Casio CZ or CZ, a different take on digital synthesis. They say it's phase distortion synthesis similar to frequency modulation, but a little bit different. It was used by Depeche Mode, Salt & Pepper, and many artists. And it really sounds very strong if you like it.